This is Perfect Game TV's coverage of the 2021 Worldwood Bat Association World Championship. It's amazing to be back in Jupiter, Florida, the spring training home of the Miami Marlins and the St. Louis Cardinals. Hi there, folks. We're just going to call it Jupiter because that's what it's called amongst all these athletes, coaches, families, and scouts. She's Dani Wexelman. My name is Daron Sutton, and we're really glad you found us right here on Perfect Game TV. You're going to learn a lot about this event. You want to start with the fact simply that it's back.
We're back in Jupiter. I'm so excited that we're back here, and everyone else is too. Everyone I talk to is so happy that this event is back where it belongs. And not only that, it's the last summer, right? We have a stacked draft class, and we had the opportunity to cover a lot of ground here. And we're gonna dive into stories about some really special players and some really special teams that I think define everything that makes Jupiter so special.
30 of the top 50 in the 2022 high school class are here, so elite players are here. It's very diverse. There are teams from all over the country, from border to border, and then beyond the borders, from Canada, from Puerto Rico. I think that's what's kind of fun, the diversity of this event, on and off the field, even the backgrounds of the athletes and players that are willing to travel a long, long ways.
A long way, and also prove that their brand of baseball is just as good as anybody else's, right? From island baseball to baseball in Alaska. These guys taught us that hustle is everything and grit is everything, and that makes baseball so special. And they're here to prove something, and I think that they did.
Yeah, the Brewers Langley Blaze is a team that's based in British Columbia. They're incredibly diverse, players from all over the U.S. and, of course, several provinces in Canada. But we want to focus on two. It's the #1 player in Alaska. It's the #1 player in Hawaii. They came all the way here. Both spots about 5,000 miles to Jupiter, Florida. Let's meet them.
Hi, my name is Oliver Brown, and I'm proud to be from Anchorage, Alaska.
My name is Aiva Arquette, and I'm proud to be from Kailua.
It's a 3.5-hour flight from Seattle, and then I'd say from Seattle to Fort Myers, they can do it. That flight's probably like 6 to 7 hours.
It was just a direct flight, you know, Hawaii to Orlando. Yeah, 8-hour flight.
The thing about Alaska, there's not as many people. I'd say the talent's still there. There's great talent in Alaska. It's just the exposure is little to none up there. I mean, we have a collegiate summer league up there called the ABL, and besides that, I mean, high school baseball is very good. We have kids who go on to college, some go pro. No one really comes up there. No colleges or pro scouts come up there, so you kind of have to travel if you can.
Hawaiians, you know, I'm really proud of them. You know, they're representing our state well. Colton Wong and Kian Wong, you know, they're making the name for themselves. Sasaki with the Rays, Shane Victorino.
And a drive into left field, that is well hit. Ryan Braun looks up, grand slam.
Winter baseball in Alaska is non-existent. I mean, it snows from right now it's September, right? I mean, early October. I mean, 2 weeks ago we had snow on the ground, so we had 10 inches at my house. So, I mean, from here until like April, no baseball at all whatsoever.
A lot of competition. Everybody knows everybody, you know, every high school, there's someone we know. We love competing against each other, you know. A lot of our players are here too, you know.
The Jupiter experience is insane. I mean, high talent, it's fun. You meet a bunch of new kids. I mean, I'm on a Canadian team. I mean, never played with Canadians before, but they're the best. It's been a blast.
You know, it's my first time playing with them. It was definitely really cool to see where everybody lived and stuff or are from. And, you know, it's cool to bring guys from all over the place and have that chemistry and try to win ball games.
My parents are Anastasia Brown and Aaron Brown, and they've made a big sacrifice. I'm very thankful for what they've done. I mean, I've traveled quite a lot, so I'm very thankful for everything they've allowed me to do.
My dad's name is Athens Arquette, and my mom's name is Marisol Arquette, and, you know, they made so much sacrifices starting from work. You know, they worked their butts off, you know, this whole summer and before summer, because they spent so much money on me, you know, to go for my dream.
Well, I've been seeing the WWBA World Championships for a while, so I had an idea there's gonna be some elite competition here. And then, I mean, first day yesterday, and we played some team from Ontario, and I mean, there's studs over there too. Like wherever you go here, there's gonna be some crazy good ball players.
Being in Jupiter and this event, you know, all in front of these scouts, you know, it's really fun, you know, to showcase your talent and, you know, just hopefully get signed or, you know, or college route. So yeah, it's really cool to be out here.
I think one of the coolest parts about camping out over there was learning that Aiva has recently decommitted, opened up his options, and there were college coaches behind the scenes all around watching that tall, athletic shortstop. It was cool.
And that's why everyone comes to Jupiter, right? And you know who's back in Jupiter? The Breakthrough Series team. And I cannot wait to tell you guys about this team that's had the entire Jupiter camp abuzz. This is the WWBA World Championships in Jupiter. We'll be right back.
It started with a simple idea: to break what the game knows, to evolve the standard. It's time to revolutionize defense. Printed in 4D for a breakthrough in technology. Ultra lightweight, resilient, form fit, game ready and pro tested. Designed for a revolution, engineered for defense. The Rev 1X.
Welcome back to Perfect Game TV's coverage of the World Wood Bat Association World Championship in Jupiter, Florida. The Breakthrough Series. It's been so much fun to get to know the efforts of Major League Baseball, recently especially, trying to raise the presence of the African-American athlete in the game. Tony Regans comes to mind, Del Matthews comes to mind, and of course the leadership, all the major leaguers that have gone through that are giving back. Dani, it's incredible, it's had impact. They were here, they brought a team, they're disciplined, it's a first-class bunch. It's big league life basically playing in this event.
So they weren't at this event last year. So this was a big deal, them coming back to Jupiter the last summer. And guess what, by the way, those guys are the most proud to wear Breakthrough Series on their chest. They got Tamar Johnson to join their team, the #2 player in the country. And on top of that, they've got Cam Collier, who reclassified in the class of 2022, and his dad, Lou Collier, Major League veteran, coaching that team. They're loud, they're proud. People made sure we knew that team was here. The buzz is all around them, and they brought it. They play the brand of baseball that makes everybody proud.
Jerry Manuel, you remember Jerry Manuel, the sage as they call him, truly is the longtime Major League manager, White Sox guy, right? We're in the postseason now, is one of the key leaders as well. Let's go hang out in the dugout and on the diamonds with the Breakthrough.
Felt like this fantasy was going to last forever, but I'm glad I just get to spend my last tournament with Breakthrough. You know, got great coaches, great teammates, and you know, it's just amazing just going out there to compete.
Here we go, let's go, let's fight, let's go.
I get emotional sometimes. Like yesterday, we were talking about it before our game. We were just saying, like, there's our last run. We have to work hard. We have to keep playing. But yeah, I mean, I look forward to it. This is an amazing experience, and I can't wait to see what happens.
Playing with Breakthrough Series again, I've been waiting for this all year. Knowing I get to come back, play with Mar, RJ, all these guys, I've been waiting for this all my life.
1, 2, 3.
Expectations at Jupiter for my team is for us to win it all. Go have fun, play hard as we can because we have a team full of dogs. We got Tamar Johnson, one of the best hitters, one of the best players, in my opinion, I've ever seen. Cam Collier, he's a dog too. RJ Johnson, Jaden Noob, Adonis Guzman. We got a lot of dogs on the team. PGL Americans, guys that know how to play.
I think everybody knows the swag we play with. Everybody is appealed to that swag and that excitement of watching us play. We're Breakthrough Series and we come to the field knowing that we can dominate. So all that matters is, you know, we know that we can dominate, and then everybody coming out here and wanting to watch us play.
We're kind of wild, I'm not gonna lie. We like to have fun. Out off the field, we're all buddies, so we all get along pretty well, and on the field, we play the same way.
You know, Breakthrough Series, I've been in it for a really long time. You know, it just gave me a chance to grow up. He gave me a chance just to, you know, show my talents and do it on a big stage. And I thank them for everything. You know, they're just amazing coaches, you know, amazing guys to meet. And, you know, I met my friends ultimately through Breakthrough.
Let's go, bro.
Baby. Yes, sir. Come on. We're playing baseball, man. Team base, go.
No Breakthrough Series on top. Let's go.
Breakthrough on 3. 1, 2, 3. Breakthrough. Breakthrough. Go, boys. Let's go, baby.
We told you they came here to play proud, they played loud, and they play with an energy 11 out of 10 always, Daron.
Yeah, it's incredible to be around them. Loud and proud, by the way. That sums up Jordan Adell, the right fielder, left fielder, maybe center fielder for the Los Angeles Angels. Here's the cool thing about Joe Adell. He played in this event a long time ago as a young Cane. He's over there right behind us in the dugout, helping to coach the Canes. Our game of catch, 5 years apart. When we come back, welcome to Jupiter. You're getting to know it segment by segment on Perfect Game TV.
Try to get mad, I'ma zip right past, drip all on my swag, why you trying to size me up, you don't wanna try.
Perfect Game TV in Jupiter, Florida at the World Bat Association World Championship. Daron Sutton back with you. And when I look back to 2016, I have some fond memories of being able to be a part of this event, covering it, because I played catch with a young man who was good. He was very talented, PG All-American pitcher and outfielder, Jordan Adell. We played catch together. We talked about life together. We talked about anxieties, nerves, and exciting times that were ahead for him. Well, 5 years later, Adell has made it all the way to the major leagues. He had an incredible year this year in AAA. 592 slug, 23 home runs, and in all likelihood, it's going to be Marsh, Trout, and Adell in the outfield for the Angels next year. We pick up our conversation 5 years later in the outfield, the same spot where we played catch.
What was this year like for you? Summer especially.
It was unbelievable. You know, greatest summer of my life. You know, being able to play with different guys across the country, more so than I had in the past. And perfect game, All-American game was unbelievable to me.
You and I had a game of catch out here. You were a kid like them, but questions are exactly the same. How'd your summer go? Tell me what you learned about yourself this summer, right? You were a junior in high school when I asked you that question. How'd your summer go?
Oh, Daron, you know, it was really a blessing. I started the year out in AAA, Salt Lake for the Angels.
Hit in the air to left field. That one is high. That one is way up the scoreboard.
Performed really well. Got the chance to go back up to the big leagues. Then made an impact. So, I mean, that's really all you can ask for.
Adell, grand slam! The kid did it! Say it is so, Joe!
Is it easier to deal with the pressure that goes along with your new job? Your job back then was working your way into the draft. Is it easier if you have fun?
It is. You know, that's part of my game, you know, is really being a high energy guy, a guy that jumps around the field and really enjoys, you know, the success, the team success, the winning of it. You know, I really put that on display this year, and it was natural for me. That's how I am. I love to win. That's why I'm out here right now at this place that I was at 5 years ago on this same field with you, because this is the first place where I discovered winning and how important it was. And so for me, I'm excited. I'm jumping around on the sideline right here as these guys go out, because I remember that feeling of wanting to win and wanting to be a part of something. So yes, but it is easier definitely just going out. When you focus on the winning part of it, it makes it a lot easier for you to go and perform.
A couple years ago, you produced a feature with Steve over there, my talented partner on all the stuff. And he still teases me how I asked you the last question.
It's a long ways away, but are you nervous for June? Is that the right word, nervous?
Kind of had the hands out by the side, so I'll recreate that. Do you get nervous? Is that the word? Do you still get nervous? You know, I asked you that, nervous, you remember that? Do you get nervous?
Not really nervous, more really excited in the moment, depending on what it is. I live for that, like I enjoy it. You know, everyone that's on that team lives for those moments. And so probably say more excited and ready to go more than nervousness, you know, because we're gonna fail. You know, that's part of it. You know, at this point in the big leagues, as many at-bats as I've had and the ups and the downs, failure is not really something that I'm trying to avoid. You know, I'm really focused on putting my best out there and being excited to be in big moments.
I love it. We asked you to explain your relationship with Ballard High School then. I'll still ask you to explain your relationship with your community now, because it's what we all say, right? We talk to all you guys in seminars at 15, 16, 17 and say, hey, when you get there, try and give back. You've gotten there and you do give back.
No, it's been great. My foundation back at home, the Joe Adell Foundation, it's been huge. We've opened up something new this year. It's called Cuts for Kids. It's basically a barbershop set up throughout public schools that gives kids haircuts free of charge. And the whole idea behind it was it hasn't been done before. There hasn't been, you know, a barbershop or salon set up in a public school. And our goal was really to use it to kind of as a self-confidence booster. A lot of times kids in the areas, you know, especially inner city Louisville, struggle with, you know, basic needs. You know, we go get a haircut, you know, once every couple of weeks or whatnot, but that's a luxury, you know what I mean? And so being able to offer it to these kids and give them the opportunity to just get a fresh haircut and feel good about themselves was important to me, and something that was cool, and collabed on it and was able to make it work. So I'm really excited to see how that works.
Why are you here? I mean, why are you here? You could be, you know, we could stereotype the big league life. So why are you here?
This was the first tournament where I really discovered myself coming through. There's a lot of scouts here, and there's a lot of, you know, pressure, quote unquote. But I try to come in for this group of guys, the Canes, the team that I played for. I really try to come in and be a guy to lean on and say, you know what? This isn't the first time these guys have seen you play. You guys have it all. You guys have all the tool sets to go out and be great, and just focus on winning. And that's what helped me perform in an event like this. Was I was so focused on wanting to win that I didn't worry about my performance. And I think that's like the big thing that you have to focus on when you're a part of something like this and you're trying to make it far. Because I remember how it helped me. And I took my experience here and my want to win all the way through. So I think it's important that these kids understand this, because I told them, I said 5 years ago, I was in your position. I was right where you guys are at. So it's really exciting for me to come down here and really share those experiences and be with them through this.
Thank you, pal.
Always, Darren.
I missed you this year. It was great to reconnect.
Yes,
it really was.
Absolutely.
All right, pal.
Thank you.
When the camera stopped rolling, the one thing Adell talked about was energy. He's most excited to bring energy inside of that Angels clubhouse, to stand right next to Mike Trout, to take them back to the top of the American League West. But again, it's the passion and the energy that he promises to bring to his division, to his team in Southern California. It's been an intriguing evolution of our sport, even at the amateur level. Science meets baseball. Technology is a big part of it. Advanced metrics, the human metrics, all a part of training and recovery. Very important, taking your game to the next level if in fact you play out here. We're a little bit more about all that and the concept with Marc Pro. Here's more.
Marc Pro is a muscle stimulator that is focused on creating muscle contractions that bring in fresh blood and nutrients into the area. You throw this on whatever muscle group you're sore in, whether that's an elbow, a shoulder, and rather than icing it to constrict those vessels, we're actually getting that good blood in, flushing out waste. We have a patented set of parameters of how we send the current through to your skin, and all you're doing is getting that good blood in, flushing out waste without ever causing fatigue.
Honestly, this is like the best investment I've ever bought for like throwing. I love it, yeah. I use this all the time after I get done throwing. I feel like this would be a great investment for any pitcher or thrower or anything.
And when did you last throw?
I last threw yesterday. I threw 3 innings.
If you're throwing a lot, adding this into your routine is just gonna help get that arm back to feeling good so that you can keep throwing immediately, just kind of reducing that soreness and that stiffness that you get after throwing. It's gonna help prevent those overuse injuries and just keep that muscle soaked with blood. Is it pulsing and contracting the muscles that are sore?
I feel it right now.
Awesome, man. And that's it, you just kick back. If you're throwing and you're not putting in that recovery time, you're setting yourself up for injury. Every 30 Major League Baseball team is using us, a bunch of collegiate athletics as well, and now obviously bringing it to the youth baseball world here. These are elite athletes. They're pushing their bodies, and this is exactly a tool to help prevent overuse, reduce that arm stiffness and soreness, getting you back on the field a little bit quicker, feeling better. That is what we do best and what we do better than anything else.
I think the best part was seeing the dads and the moms come up, knowing that their athletes were obviously wanting to heal and work it against ice and see how it helps, but they were learning too. They were evolving. They were trying to get healthy. Marc Pro, great partnership out here at this event. When we come back, we're going to look at this event through a scout's eyes. Who has made the biggest jumps? Which athletes will be talked about in the 2022 draft? Dani Wexelman with that conversation. Glad to have you with us on Perfect Game TV at the World Wood Bat Association World Championship in Jupiter, Florida.
Baseball is competitive, often called a game of failure. Millions play, thousands compete. Only a handful reach the top. The odds don't matter to you. You have the goals, the drive, and a dream of playing at the next level. We've helped those that made it be seen. Now, it's your turn. Let our experts train you the right way to stand out, win over the critics, prove you have what it takes to succeed, and provide a foundation of info to those that matter. Become tomorrow's athlete today with Perfect Game Development. Personalized training plus development driven by science and AI. Download the app and get started. Perfect Game Development. Your best step to the next level.
Welcome back. I'm Dani Wexelman here with Vinnie Cervino, Perfect Games college supervisor. And Vinnie, you've been on the road for 3 weeks, my friend, culminating here at the WWBA World Championships in Jupiter, Florida. And you and I, you've been covering a lot. I know you have, but you and I are going to break down five guys that we're familiar with, either at Perfect Game National or at the All-American Classic. But here at Jupiter, we're going to find out what makes them extra special, right? So we're going to start with left-handed pitcher Levi Huesman. He's the #1 left-handed pitcher in the state of Virginia. He's playing for the Richmond Braves, and he's been impressive to you. Tell me why.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, Levi Huesman had hands down the best pitching performance of the whole week. 7 innings, 2 hits, 17 strikeouts against a very good Dallas Tigers team. And he was just kind of in command from start to finish. You know, I was over on the other quad when the game started, and my phone started blowing up with text messages from scouts, other PG employees, stuff like, hey, we got a pop-up arm on field 5, I think it was, on Marlins. And I checked the time in cast and it says, oh, it's Levi Huesman, we've seen him before. And it's, oh no, we haven't seen 95, 95, 94, 95. And he was just dominant. You know, it's reminiscent of kind of past Jupiter performances that are really impressed. Guys like Jose Fernandez in the past, guys like Scott Kazmir who went in the first round. That kind of dominating performance definitely catapults him from that 88-91 guy over the summer to now a 90-94, 95 guy heading into the draft year.
All right, let's go from the East Coast over to the West Coast. 2 guys who are at our All-American Classic. Let's start with Mikey Romero. He plays for the show out of San Diego, of course. And we've known Mikey for a long time. Yep. And we're finally seeing his true potential. And not only is he the #1 shortstop in the state of California, but I think that he is a hero of Menifee, California, and also the #6 shortstop in the class of 2022.
Yeah, the hometown kid over at Petco for the All-American game, right? He really stood out to us this week because, you know, we have these kind of conversations when we go back to the hotel or kind of talk about what we saw over the day, like who's really standing out, who are the top guys that we've seen over the course of the last year, and how are they performing this week. And the name that always came up was Mikey Romero because he's coming up, and it's barrel city with Mikey Romero. He's just finding barrels. He's getting very aggressive in the box. He's looking to do damage, and even if he doesn't get a hit, he's still smoking the ball to center, smoking the ball to left, right, using the whole field. really polished defender. When you look at the numbers too, that kind of matches the eye test. He's hitting .571 this week, and just been on the base paths really in every game, and that's including 5-6 games they played through exhibitions or other consolation games and stuff like that.
One of the hottest bats here in Jupiter.
No question.
All right, we're going to stay on the West Coast. Justin Crawford is the next guy that you want to talk about. John Pano's program in CBA. I talked to him earlier this week. He told me he got a little choked up saying goodbye to Justin Crawford, who's also been a standout here. He's out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and he's hit a solid 500 at Jupiter.
Yeah, I'd be a little emotional if he was not playing for my team anymore either. He's really good, and he's kind of that game-changing athlete type, right? He's a plus defender in center field, an elite runner, like a true 80 on the 2080 Major League Scouting scale in terms of run times. I got him in a 3.97 of first on a jailbreak infield single earlier this week. And he just kind of always finds the barrel too. The bat speed's obviously there, the offensive profile, and he just barrels the ball all over the yard. And his impact speed allows him to kind of change the game in that sense. I talked about how he'll get an infield single and then steal second or third. He hit a triple earlier this week that he hit to the opposite field, got to third base. Shortstop couldn't handle the throw home, and he ended up scoring a Little League home run. So it's that kind of game-changing athleticism and speed that really allows him to create runs and really create opportunities for his team to score.
He's so fun to watch.
Ton of fun.
I love
my
watching
goodness.
that
Yeah,
guy.
he's so fast.
We're gonna go from speed on the base paths to a little bit of speed with some arms, but more along the lines of fastball quality. There's two pitchers you wanted to talk about, and because we're here at Jupiter, we can learn a little bit more about them. We got TrackMan.
We got TrackMan.
We got TrackMan. The first guy you want to talk about, Zach Showalter from CBU Scout Team. He's ranked 5th in Florida in right-handed pitchers, and he's a South Florida commit. What stood out from the numbers that you got from TrackMan with him?
Yeah, so he pitched twice this week, and he's a prospect that I mentioned on Twitter, has kind of established himself really kind of in that upper echelon of prep arms in the state of Florida. And what really makes Zach Showalter's fastball such a devastating pitch isn't the velocity, because he's only a 90-92 guy, touched a couple 3s and 4s here and there, which is very good in its own right, but the low release height that he releases the fastball from the vertical attack angle is able to create this rise effect. So when the fastball's coming in, instead of coming in straight or flat, as some scouts would call it, it looks like the ball's coming in and taking off up and out towards the arm side or up and out towards the glove side. You'll see that with a lot of swings and misses underneath the pitch, which really just generates this kind of very weird effect for hitters, because you're not used to a fastball seeing that. You're used to a fastball being straight, not necessarily riding up and out of the zone, and that's why he's able to generate such swing and miss. And his performance on Sunday, through 19 pitches in his first inning and 2/3, he had, I think it was 5 swings and misses on 16 fastballs, which is kind of 33% whiff rate is stupid.
This is awesome that we get to have all of this information, because we came down to Jupiter to learn how these guys are extra special. And the other guy I'm super interested to hear about, Owen Murphy. He plays for Team Elite Atlanta Braves Scout Team. He's a Notre Dame commit. He's actually ranked #1 at the third base position in his class in the state of Illinois. But we're gonna talk about what his arm can do on the mound.
Yeah, he's one of the better two-way prospects in this class, hands down. You and I talked a little bit before air. It's one of those things like, if you can swing it and you can pitch, keep doing that as long as you can. And what jumps out about Murphy's fastball is his induced vertical break, IVB, which means kind of what I talked about before. The ideal combination for swings and misses when their fastball is elevated is a low release height and a ton of induced vertical break, which is that effect, that riding effect up in the strike zone. And Murphy got up to, I think it was 20 to 24 inches of induced vertical break, which is like easily plus in terms of on the major league scale. It's guys like Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, who kind of pitch at the top of the zone and get those whiffs on fastballs. That's what Murphy was able to do when he came into the game for the Braves Scout Team.
Wow, I love all that, Vinny. Thank you so much for sharing all this knowledge with us,
Absolutely.
and for covering a lot of ground, my friend. A lot of ground. You deserve a long nap and a lot of relaxation.
Got to have your head on a swivel in Jupiter, so.
That's right. Coming up, we set our alarms early for Javier Santos Tejada, and he might have had a game-changing morning, maybe even a life-changing morning, and we'll tell you all about it next. This is the WWBA World Championships in Jupiter, Florida.
perfect game. On and off the field, it's a way of life. And now, that same passion, your passion, is represented in the brand new exclusive PG gear and clothing line. Designed with you in mind, the looks that you live in, whether during a sweat-soaked workout or a round of BP. Make your memories in perfect game gear. Thoughtful, comfortable, perfect for you. Visit shop.perfectgame.org.
Perfect Game TV's coverage of the World Wood Bat Association World Championship in Jupiter, Florida rolls on. And as the event rolls into day 4 at night, make your decisions wisely. We'll just leave it at that. There are night games, but then there are 8 a.m. games. And if you're going to go out and have a good time, set the alarm, get the coffee, because those 8 a.m. games, Dani and folks, you might miss a jewel. Javier Santos Tejada, Georgia Premier Academy. From the Dominican Republic, Dani, 8 a.m. game, 97 miles an hour is where he topped out.
So I'll share a little secret. The entire interview is in Spanish because we wanted to, we wanted to honor Javier and his roots, his Dominican roots, which he is so proud of. And I was so honored to be able to do this interview. I think everyone's going to enjoy it. They're going to learn about his family. They're going to learn about how proud he is to be from the Dominican. And they're going to learn about his dreams, most importantly.
Toronto Blue Jays scout team again, Georgia Premier Academy is where he preps, moving from the Dominican. And if you do remember that school, Daniel Espino, racing to the big leagues in the Cleveland Indians organization from Panama. He also attended that school. Let's get to know this.
Hago lewat. Es algo, o sea, que estoy persiguiendo desde pequeño, como un sueño y uno ando buscando que se me haga realidad. Es algo, todo el sueño para mí es llegar a Grande Liga. Firmar y llegar a Grande Liga. Yeah.
And I need you to be honest, because when you were 17 and 18, folks, how alert were you for that 6 a.m. wake-up call, for that 8 a.m. job interview, 17 and 18, because that's what it was, a job interview, and he nailed it. Incredible what he accomplished. And the perspective of this event through the eyes of a young man like him, important, but also through a coach like John Pano of CBA. I love your conversation you have with him. What does a coach see? How does it impact his players? That's coming up.
And what else is coming up? Your conversation with Tamar Johnson. I cannot wait for that. He's going to show us how he does what he does in the batter's box. No one better than him to do that. This is the WWBA World Championships in Jupiter, Florida. We'll be right back.
Hashtag Hidwit. Hashtag Hidwit.
Custom gear is important to me because it just represents who you are. Me as a kid, I remember I used to always look up at all the big leaguers at the time and see what they would wear. You couldn't get that stuff, in the stores. So now being able to customize basically everything I wear on the field, and it's one-on-one, I think that's just something special. I worked really hard to get here, and we get to do some swag and put your own flavor onto the field and show people, who you really are. Customs are one-on-one, just like me. G-form, made for the moment.
Perfect Game's coverage of the World Wood Bat Association World Championship in Jupiter, Florida on Perfect Game TV continues. And we continue with the name that if you're into the prospect game, it's Tamar. Kind of like Prince and Elvis and Cher. Everyone, especially in his circle, knows Tamar. He's out of Atlanta. Tamar Johnson. He's a talented middle infielder. He stands about 5'10", and he packs a big, powerful punch. And the young man is who you want to talk about.
I absolutely do. One of the most well-respected guys in his class. 3 years ago, he wasn't the same Tamar Johnson. He grew into his confidence, grew into his body, and that's why he's one of the best at what he does. But by the way, he doesn't just get it done in the box on the field. He gets it done in the classroom. He's finished his high school credits. He's done with high school. He's moving on to college classes before he's even committed to college yet.
And he makes the game fun. It is a game, everyone, and it is fun. And when you watch him, you have fun, you enjoy it. It's her favorite segment, hashtag Hidwid. How does Tamar do what he does? How I do what I do.
Hey guys, this is Tamar Johnson, and this is how I do what I do. Well, first off, I feel like the game, hitting especially, is mental. Before I step in the plate, I just thank God for having me in this position, and, I just go up there and I just calm, play a song in my head, and I'm probably about right here to the plate, my back foot is right to the end of the plate. No matter how hard you're throwing, I'm right here. And I'm just calm. I'm here, trying to hit you in the head, low forward, low back. Stay here, right there. Try to make sure I hit you right in the head. Straight back to you. My swing is built on timing and balance. I have to stay basically here. Instead of being here or here, I have to stay here. So I try to, this is very important to me. Try to rock forward. Then when I rock back, I'm all the way, and I pick my foot down, I'm all the way just right here. Giving my hips to the pitcher, just giving it to him. If I do this, then I'm gonna miss some of the play. I'm gonna spin out, and it's not gonna be a good swing. If I keep my hips just here, what I'm saying, it just make sure I just get a good swing off, and I'm going straight to field. It's timing. It's all timing. It's all timing. I try to just stay calm. Just have a little bit of movement right here. Everything's about rhythm and timing. Playing a song in my head, rhythm timing. Walking on the drink. Talking to myself, and when I get here, I'm still calm. As soon as I lift my leg, I load my hands, and as soon as I get my leg down, I'm ready to fire. I'm ready to go. Just keep my eye on the ball, keep my eye on the pitcher. I'm looking here, and I'm I'm looking all the way through here. So I'm getting ready to hit it through here. I don't want to get here, then my eyes are going this way, and I'm only gonna do nothing but pull the ball. So I'm just trying to make sure I keep my hands on the pitcher, and I just stay here and make sure I get a good swing off.
I think that's one of my favorite parts about this job through the years, having young players that are, look what Bobby Witt did a couple of years ago. He did the same piece for us. He's going to be an infielder for the Royals next year. I love when hitters share how they do what they do, share their secrets. Secrets certainly can be tied into coaches as they build a team to come here to try to win in Jupiter. And also, Dani, the conversation needs to be had about the impact of this event on young players and how they jump to the next level. You found a good man in John Pano to have that conversation.
So Coach Pano shared a little bit off camera, getting a little bit choked up because this is the last summer, right? We always have the last summer here at Jupiter, but with some of his guys leaving early, he got a little choked up saying goodbye to them. But the impact that this event has had reaches every corner of the country. Every kid that he has is impacted by this event, whether they're a top prospect, whether they're just on the fringe of being a top prospect. He knows the impact that Jupiter has. He's been here 15 years, Daron, 15 years, and he shared all the secrets with me.
Instant impact when you're a freshman. It didn't used to happen that way back in my generation. Great travel ball teams, great coaches like John Pano. Here's their conversation.
This is your 15th year coming to Jupiter, coming to the WWBA World Championships. What maybe is the biggest change that impresses you the most?
I would say the thing that impresses me the most is how much better the kids are at the game now. I remember coaching against Francisco Lindor's team and that team that's been so hyped for so long, and we just see the level of competition increasing more and more and more every year in an event like this. You can walk into Marlins Quad at 8 in the morning or 5 at night or 8 at night, and you see very, very good baseball. And you know, it definitely helps, I think, the kids that are uncommitted, you know, and the kids who are garnering all the draft attention.
Everywhere you look, every inch is covered by a scout. What do you tell your group of guys coming into this event?
Play your game. You know, I mean, there's going to be times where, you know, some of these kids are going into the SEC, you know, where they're going to be playing in front of huge crowds right away. You know, some of these kids obviously are going to go into pro ball and try and make it there. And this is just one more time, you know, for them to focus on what they can control. And there are times where it becomes a little much for some. We've seen that in the past. And there are times where you realize that a young man is better than what you originally thought, because he comes here and with all the pressure and the scouts and the attention and the energy performs. That's an eye-opener when you see a young man like that uses this event or has a great event, and it becomes, like I said, a platform and a springboard for him for the rest of his life.
15 years coming here, you said 26 coaching.
Yeah.
What's the best lesson you've learned? Let's end with that.
For me as a coach? Yeah. Patience. When I was a younger coach, little things would fire me up, you know, and I thought it was better to be that way and have those expectations. But I've learned over time that you can have high expectations and maintain patience, and you get more out of today's player that way. I don't think that, you know, we can coach the way I was coached, you know, back however long ago that was. But today, yeah, I would definitely say patience.
When he writes a book, I'm obviously going to be buying the book, and I'll come out here to get an autograph.
You got it.
Thanks, dude.
You got
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. You can tell he cares. He cares tremendously from the bottom of his heart. I was smiling ear to ear with that conversation. I'm so glad we got to sit down and talk about Jupiter.
A team from California's CBA. Last year in 2020, it was a team from California with all those restrictions in COVID that won it, GBG, Garcia Parra Baseball Group. Who wins it this year? When we come back, we'll celebrate the championship game and the one who won the crown. You're watching Perfect Game TV's coverage of the World Wood Bat Association World Championship in Jupiter, Florida.
Francisco Lindor is headed to New York. New York is great. It's a place where you can be whatever you want to be.
Every day I challenge myself to break down barriers.
Seeing others live their passion, it makes me push harder in all that I'm doing.
Man, that dude Lindor is fearless.
I'm always trying to push myself further as an athlete.
My style is limitless, just like my city.
Confidence passion, commitment, style. That's Queens for ya.
Perfect Game TV's coverage of Jupiter. The World Wood Bat Association World Championship rolls on, and we roll into Championship Day. Hi there, folks. Daron Sutton, glad to have you back. And as we move to the championship game in the stadium, not out on the backfields anymore, but the stadium, we see the O-Stingers group, a group out of Florida, outstanding team, a perfect 7-0. They've never won this event, though, and they had some huge wins along the way, but they're battling with the Dirtbags. Twice they've been champions here at Jupiter. This is a strong team with just one loss here in Jupiter on their resume. They come in 6-1. Let's celebrate the winner right now. Let's take a look back on what occurred between the O-Stingers and the Dirtbags. Away we go.
More than 100 teams showed their very best in Jupiter, yet only a pair remained on Championship Monday. North Carolina-based the Dirtbags, winners in 2010 and in 16. The Floridians, the O-Stingers, seeking their first ever title.
You know, it's great atmosphere and the championship game of the biggest tournament probably in history of travel ball.
We're all tired, we're all sweating, we're all wore out, but we got to keep pushing. Got to have a strong mindset.
It would mean the world to every single one of us. This was all of our dream to come here in the championship game, and we want to go out there and win this thing. We're going to give it our all to win this thing.
We're one of those teams that really wants to win, and that's what got us this far, so hopefully we can win it all.
You got guys that let it hang. They're always there to freaking ball.
You know, it's the biggest tournament in the world, so trying to come out here and win this.
It's my last summer. It'd be a great way to end it off with a big win.
And away we go. And these teams now will have had to have gone 4-0 today to win the title at Jupiter. Josh Folks gets ready to go out on the mound. He's a Campbell commit, and this is a 2022 grad. Looks like a pitcher.
I play first base and outfield. I'm in the championship game here at Jupiter, and I'm out there pitching. Kind of crazy, but got to do it for the team, trying to get this win.
While the postseason goes on, it feels like everyone else comes to Jupiter. Breaking ball, and what a fabulous reaction. And one of the most talented players in the 2023 class goes down on strikes. Folks strands the runner. Lines it into center field. Keep on keeping on, young man. Run on the move, swung right through, fired down. Quick tag, in time! David McCann lifts that one into left field, sticking with it, and another fine defensive play.
It is the bottom of the third, and it's 0-0.
Instead tries to shoot the hole to the left side, and he does. Jones is being sent on around. Toward the plate, the throw, the slide, the tag, out at the plate. Incredible play. Gillespie fires it home. McCann holds on. Beautiful execution.
It's a close ball game, 0-0, bottom four. We're hoping to get some runners on right here. We're just starting it, so feeling pretty good.
18 years old. Runner goes, pops in and out of the catcher's mitt. So Ethan is in scoring position with the stolen base. It's a line drive base hit left field. Another challenge at home. The O-Stingers looking to grab the first run. The slide, it pops away in there for a run, and an RBI by Dylan LaPointe. The O-Stingers jump on top 1-0 here in Jupiter.
We got a runner on second, Ethan Petrie, and Dylan LaPointe knocks him in with an RBI single to bring it 1-0.
That one's driven right center field, well struck, trickling back over his shoulder. That one drops in over the center fielder Harmon into second, a couple of bases. David McCann put a charge into that one. And Trent's going to get to run. It's into center field. They'll send Trent on around toward the plate. The throw, the head first slide. The Dirtbags tie it up at 1. And Joe Speck gets it done.
I mean, I know Joe's a good hitter, good contact hitter, can push it through the middle. I'm on second. I got plenty of speed to score on a base hit, so I just knew if the ball got up the middle, I was going. So it's a great feeling to tie the game up in the Jupiter World Championship. There's nothing like it.
I mean, it's not it in a sad way or a glad way. It's kind of somewhere in between, because this, for many, is the final travel ball event, period. End of story. They'll go off to pro baseball, many, and most will go off to college baseball if you think about the history of this event. So, melancholy certainly, and you could see it in the eyes even of the champions, but a celebration of the game. The 23rd edition in the book's incredible.
It's not goodbye, it's just see you later. See you wherever your path may take you, right? And we're so lucky to spend 5 days with these guys who play at the most elite level, and they play their hearts out. They leave everything out on the field, and they're some of the most spectacular humans you and I get to cover because they share so much with us. And I hope everybody enjoyed it, because I know I did.
And again, when we look at the 23rd year of this event, consider nearly 1,000 major leaguers have come out of it. It's just been incredible. We want to thank all the coaches, families, and certainly the Perfect Game staff. Our production team is the best in the business. We'll put them up against anyone. And if, by the way, you love Perfect Game TV and you found this syndicated television show, download the Perfect Game TV app on your smartphone or your smart device, because this is what we do, devoted to amateur baseball 24/7. She's Dani Wexelman. I'm Daron Sutton. We'll see you next time at the ballpark.